The United Kingdom and Germany have had their second rehearsals here at Eurovision 2019. Should we talk about it?
Let's do this!
Whether you got some German in you or whether you're British, you can find all that out with My Heritage DNA. First up today was the United Kingdom's Michael Rice. They're still playing around with the black and white effect or the grayscale. They're still playing around with different pyro. This time we did actually see some sparks coming up from the stage in the final run through, which is a change from what we had seen before. Previously, I think they had said that they weren't going to use pyro, so they clearly have decided maybe that the staging needed a little more. What I would say is that his vocals got better with each run through. Yeah. The first run through was a little shaky. Again, it is only a rehearsal, but also I kind of feel like he's missing the camera a lot here. He's sort of playing more to the audience in the arena that would be there rather than actually looking and connecting with the audience at home. So that might be a little concern. However, some of the shots were much better. You could kind of see him moving through space now a bit more. I think you said it was very Doctor Who as well, didn't you? So yeah, there were improvements here. I still worry a little bit about whether or not it's enough for the UK. And I don't know I think this is going to rely a lot on jury vote at the moment, particularly with how the staging is coming together.
Yeah, I mean, I have to echo your comments and agree with you, which rarely happens for us.
It's happening more and more.
I know. Yeah, I think my criticism last time was that the first 2 minutes there really is not much staging at all going on, and I still don't think that's really changed. They've played around with the triangles. The UK is one of the countries trying to use kind of the prism over the top to come down, but it comes down and doesn't really do anything other than stand behind Michael. Vocally, he's trying out a lot of different ad-libs, which I think is why the vocal was perhaps going in and out of key and having some issues today, which was not ideal. And the final shot, the final minute is probably the strongest part of this. However, as you pointed out, the shot that I like where they're all stood around this pulsing ring of fire riffing off one another, they're all looking inward rather than outward at the camera. And I think something like this, while Michael's voice can't be denied, he needs camera connection to get across to juries, get across to televisors. I think a lot of people have been talking this up as a potential Lucy Jones. Will this make it into the top 10 for the juries? I struggle to see that with the staging as it stands at the moment. There's just not enough going on. And actually, the voice is meant to be the strongest asset of this, and today the voice was not there. So if the UK doesn't have the voice, the song is kind of so-so, and the stage isn't there, they are in real trouble. Admittedly, this is a rehearsal. I'm sure he will iron out the voice for the live show, but some rather limp pyro is not going to elevate this to where it needs to be, unfortunately.
I had a really hard time focusing during this song. Michael has a great voice. There's something very sweet about him that reminds me of Ari Olafsson from Iceland last year.
That's not a great comparison for his chances, though.
But I think it is a good comparison of his chances because I find them very similar, and I think that they're going to be perceived very similarly. From the results perspective. Again, great voice. I love that it opens up in black and white. This moment where they're all in this circle around the pit of the galaxy, it's like, oh, is it going to suck them up? And because they are standing there with their backs to the cameras, I'm waiting for that go team moment that I'm just not a fan of. So it's a sweet song, but it doesn't really captivate me personally.
There are a lot of elements here that could be really special and spectacular, but it just feels like there's some fundamental things that aren't quite right, and it's mainly that connection with the audience at home and just anybody watching it. Remember, jurors will see these shots as well, so jurors will probably also not necessarily connect with him as a performer right now, but hopefully, they were testing out different camera shots. Maybe he just didn't know exactly where they were.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can hope that there will be improvements to this at the end of the day. Another act that changed quite a bit of their staging was Germany. The sisters came on. Gone are the stock image photos from the background. Obviously, there was a little bit of controversy around how they had found those stock images, let's say.
Yeah.
Now it's replaced by effectively videos of them singing. So they're singing kind of in front of themselves, singing on the backdrop now. I feel like it's lost some of the effect now in a way. It is strong and they are vocally still really, really good. But it's another one where it kind of feels like they've taken a step back today, although this feels like it was more because they had to take a step back and remove the elements that weren't working for them for different reasons.
Yeah, I just think it's a little bit less bold. I loved the kind of women's equality message that I took from the first rehearsal, and I think I was one of the only people in the press centre. Actually, including the Germans also did not really like this. That actually really liked this, like loved the idea that it was a message about kind of equality for all women and women of all kinds to come together and embrace sisterhood. And that has been lost in the transition. There are some, I was going to say they're nice, but actually kind of the champagne flute effects in the background, while they're there and the faces are good, I think it has lost some of its power. I think, you can hear Laurel Barker, who wrote the song, talk about the fact there's never been a song at Eurovision about sisterhood, women's equality, that theme. And I think the fact the song is about that has been lost a bit. We are now back at the national final where it's two girls who aren't sisters singing a song that feels like it's more about two sisters than about a wider cause for women. So I feel like that is a step back. They sounded fantastic. They looked great. Some of the camera angles are really nice and sharp, but I just think the backdrop leaves a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, I feel like they could have still used the stock photos, just don't search for lesbian couples as it seems that they actually did. So I feel like they could have kept using that, just get different photos or ask for photos.
From the first time I heard this song, the phrase that comes to mind for me has been real queens fix each other's crowns. And I think part of that has been the different images that displayed in the backdrop, whether it be in the video or the actual rehearsals. And removing those photos for me really takes away that lifting up of others. It really takes away the women's equality, women's empowerment concept that I really loved about this song. Instead, images of Lorita and Carlotta are across the back and it becomes more me, 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 which is rather what I felt like the song was trying to move away from. Their vocals are great. They're absolutely the most darling, cutest girls. But in the end, during all three run-throughs today, they had this really silly Spice Girl moment. And it was real, real cute the first time, maybe not so much the second and third, and I sincerely hope that they don't plan on doing that during the actual performance.
Yeah, it almost feels like they've become a tribute cover band towards the end, really. There's something very strange about them singing a little bit of Wannabe. Yeah, that's an odd moment. I feel like Germany could just go back to what they had and just rework those images, and actually this would be so much stronger.
Yeah.
Lorita and Carlotta are still great. We love you. They're amazing. But yeah, it feels like these were two countries where today didn't necessarily work for them, but they still have time to fix those issues.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what we think.
What
do you think? Do you think that the UK and Germany can get out of the bottom 5? Can they be top 10? Where do you think they'll place? Let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, let us know in the comments what you think about the sisters and Michael Rice from the United Kingdom, and hit that notification bell.
Don't forget to tune in to our live streams. We are having so much fun sharing what's going on with you.
And of course, you can also find out more about your family's history with My Heritage DNA. We'll see you later.
Bye.